Hello, and welcome to English for Curious Minds by Puzzle Dazzle Your Mind. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a topic that you've probably seen on your coffee, tea, or chocolate bar: fair trade. What does it really mean? Why is it important? And how does it affect the world we live in? Fair trade isn't just a label, it's an entire system designed to make trade fairer for the people who grow and produce the goods we enjoy every day. So, if you've ever wondered whether buying a fair trade product makes a real difference, stay tuned. Let's start with the basics. Fair trade is an arrangement that aims to give better prices, decent working conditions, and fair terms of trade for farmers and workers in developing countries. These are usually people who produce products like coffee, cocoa, tea, sugar, and even handicrafts. The idea is simple. Farmers and producers should get a fair share of the profit. Instead of being paid very little by big companies, fair trade ensures they earn enough to cover their costs and live with dignity. But fair trade is also about respect for the environment. Many fair trade organizations encourage sustainable farming practices to protect nature and reduce harm to the planet. Where did this movement start? The fair trade idea began after World War II, in the late 1940s and early 1950s. At that time, many developing countries were struggling with poverty, and the global trade system was mostly controlled by rich nations. Some groups and charities started selling handmade goods from poorer regions, often at church events, to give artisans a better income. In the 1980s and 1990s, the movement grew stronger. That's when the first official fair trade certification labels appeared. These labels told consumers that the product met certain standards: fair payment, safe working conditions, and environmental care. Today, fair trade has become a global movement, with thousands of certified products sold in supermarkets all over the world. So, how does the system work in practice? When a farmer or a cooperative wants to join fair trade, they apply to a certification organization. If they meet the requirements, like paying workers fairly, avoiding child labor, and using eco-friendly farming methods, they get approved. Once approved, they can sell their products as fair trade and receive a minimum price. This price is guaranteed, even if the global market price drops. That means farmers can plan for the future without worrying about extreme price changes. There is also something called a fair trade premium. This is extra money paid to the community, not just the farmer. The community can use this premium to build schools, health centers, or improve local infrastructure. This way, fair trade doesn't just help individuals, it helps entire villages and towns. What are the main benefits of fair trade? Well, the first is better income. Farmers and workers can cover their costs and invest in their farms. The second benefit is social development. The fair trade premium funds education, healthcare, and community projects. For example, in some African countries, fair trade money has built clean water systems for villages. Third, environmental protection. Fair trade encourages sustainable farming, meaning less use of harmful chemicals and more care for forests and wildlife. Finally, empowerment. Fair trade gives small farmers more power in the global market. Instead of being at the mercy of big corporations, they have more control over their lives and businesses. Of course, fair trade is not perfect. Some critics say the certification process is expensive and difficult for very small farmers. Others argue that the extra money consumers pay for fair trade products doesn't always reach the farmers. It sometimes stays with companies or retailers. Another issue is that fair trade products can be more expensive, which means not everyone can afford them. And some people question whether fair trade can really solve the bigger problems in global trade, such as unfair tariffs and huge power differences between rich and poor countries. Still, most experts agree that fair trade is a step in the right direction, even if it's not a complete solution. So, what can you do as a consumer? The easiest thing is to look for the Fair Trade logo when you shop. Buying fair trade coffee, chocolate, or tea means you are supporting farmers and their communities. You can also learn more about the companies you buy from and choose those that respect fair trade principles. Small choices make a big difference when millions of people make them together. To wrap up, fair trade is about fairness, respect, and sustainability. It's not perfect, but it helps farmers, protects the environment, and gives consumers a chance to make a positive impact. Thanks for listening to English for Curious Minds. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend and subscribe for more discussions on important global topics. See you next.